Hey everybody, it's Matt again from Union Horror Movies. Sorry about that. Had to take care of a couple of things really fast. So let's get on with part 2 of my horror DVD and Blu-ray pickups for the month of March. Alright, right off the bat, we go from... who did this? Cold Epics, I think it is. Dread Central with La Casa. This is a Spanish horror film. I think it's also known as The House. That's what La Casa means. My Spanish is very rough. So, we'll see. We'll see how this one goes. If anybody's seen La Casa, I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Next up, we have from Vinegar Syndrome. The Last... Who is this? The Last Gasp. It's another slasher, I guess, with the Terminator 2 guy here. Robert Patrick. Yeah. So yeah, The Last Gasp. Another blind buy. Sometimes these blind buys from Vinegar Syndrome are fantastic. So if anybody's seen this movie, I'd like to hear your thoughts. Got that shine. Alright. Next up from who's this? Ronan. Well, yeah. Lawnmower Man 2, Job's War. Not as great as the first one. The first one was really good. The second one's a little rough, but I remember seeing this in the theater. Very weird, like dystopian type film, and how everything is taken care of. But, excuse me. Still, Lawnmower Man 2 on Blu-ray. Okay, then. Another 4 for $44. Warner Archive with The Looker. So another blind buy. I figured throw that in the mix for cheap. Sounds really cool about I guess it's a serial killer picking off models, I think. So maybe. I don't know if that's the exact gist, but why not? Okay, this is another one from, who's this? Bantam Street, I think it is. Another one of those weird retro style horror films with the lost skeleton returns again. Now, I guess this got released one time and it went out of print. It sold. It was like very limited. So they did a re-release of this. So of course I jumped on it. I don't have the first one. This is like a sequel to The Lost Skeleton. So at some point I'll be picking that up. So why not? For Blu-ray, I picked the third one is to come. Okay. Next up we have Metal Shifters on Blu-ray. Upgrade for my DVD. I actually found this for cheap on eBay. Sci-fi channel flick where alien bacteria infects a satellite, crashes. Two guys sell it to a guy in a junkyard, and of course the bacteria likes metal, and it adheres to the statue of this golem a guy was building for a town. It goes on a rampage and starts killing a bunch of people. It's got some cool practical effects. It's got some shoddy CGI, but the practical is really good. And it was fun. I had a good time with this one. The cover alone reminds me of that Bionicle Lego type style. I'm like, wait a minute, is this a horror film? It is. So yeah, this is Metal Shifters from Sci-Fi. Then we got Dolph Lundgren with The Minion fighting demons. Fun cheesy flick from I think 1998. I remember having this like on VHS, so had to grab it. Some good nostalgia here with him as a priest fighting demons. All right, next up we have, I found this on real cheap on Amazon. Figured, well, it's been on my wish list forever for $4 Prime. All right, with the Monolith. Monolith is, I guess, is another type of killer car flick where she has this safe car and she's on the desert with her baby. She gets out and hits a deer. So she gets out and the car automatically locks itself with the baby inside. So now she has to break into the safest car of all to rescue her baby. So it's kind of got that weird Stranded, but the horror is inside the car. So yeah, this sounded pretty neat. Give this one a shot. So we have Monolith. If anybody's seen it, I'd like to hear your thoughts on that one. Another 4K, I figured I'll buy the 4K, with Monster Hunter. I had a good time with this one. A lot of times when video games come to movies, they get a little rough around the edges. This one was a lot of fun. I had a good time with it. Um, I hope they do a sequel. So, Monster Hunter, good times. Next up, I found at Soundgarden for $5 with the slip and everything. I figured, why not? I've been hearing weird things about this movie called Mother. Some people say it's really good. Some people say it's really boring. I'd like to hear your thoughts down below. Your thoughts if you've seen Mother. I found this for like $4 or $5 used. Why not? All right. If it sucks, it goes back to the return bin. All right, time for a really fucked up movie called The Mummy Theme Park. Think of it as Jurassic Park, low budget with mummies. In Egypt, an earthquake happened that opened up a hidden chamber where, of course, this sheik goes down to open it up, and there's curses. And he decides to turn it into a theme park and has a train that goes through this crevice and down into the holes. He's got all the animatronics. He's got all the actors with these mummies and shit. He gets two Americans, a photographer and his assistant, and they go down to do photography. And of course, somehow the lights from the flashing fucks up one of the robot mummies, and it goes on a rampage. Then, of course, the sheik turns on them and makes them his prisoners because he spent so much money on this. It's balls to the wall crazy. There's some pretty cool gory practical effects to this. Then there's some really low budget weird CGI stuff to it. I think this is from 2000. It's definitely a keeper. I'm definitely keeping this in the collection. So, Mummy Theme Park. Just the title alone is just really weird. Next up from Full Moon, they decided to release a giallo with The Naked Girl Murdered in the Park. What I never even heard of. So, I heard this is a giallo type film. Give it a shot. You never know. If everybody's seen it, I'd like to hear your thoughts. Another Severin release with Klaus Kinski. Got a bunch of him in this update with Nosferatu in Venice. Another one I have not seen before, so I can't wait to give this one a watch. Let's see what happens with that one. Next up, we have Open Grave. I found this cheap at Soundgarden. Figured the synopsis sounds pretty cool. So, if anybody's seen Open Grave, I'd like to hear your thoughts on that one. Next up, we have is The Pale Door, Western horror with witchcraft and witches. I liked it. My wife and I sat down and watched this one. We had a good time with it. I liked the way the witches looked, being all burnt and everything, because they're all burned at the stake at the time. And they're all going after all these people. Not for everybody, but I had a good time with The Pale Door. I liked it. Another anime that's kind of like borderline horror, but borderline like maybe a thriller type deal. But I found it cheap at FYE, called Paprika. Yeah, I've been watching some YouTube where showing off, different type of insane, crazy anime and horror, and this has been on the list. So I figured, well, I found this at FYE for cheap. I'll give this one a watch. So yeah, if anybody's seen Paprika, let me know below. Finally grabbed The Phantom of the Paradise. Figured, never owned it. Why not give it a shot? I guess it's like a horror musical. And yeah, so I've Murder. Phantom of Paradise. Alright, next up is another sale from Scream Factory. They had this big sale where a bunch of their titles were really cheap for like $4 or $5. So I figured, why not? I grabbed Psycho 2 on Blu-ray, Psycho 3 on Blu-ray that came with the slipcover, which surprised me. Yep, grabbed Psycho 4 on Blue from Scream Factory from their sale, and I did it. I decided, why not? Fuck it. Psycho the remake on Blu-ray from Scream Factory. So yeah, so I grabbed a bunch of Psycho films. The Jack's Back was part of the sale, and the Psycho movies, and there's a couple other ones I think from that sale that they had. So yeah, give that one. Give those a shot. Next up, Psycho Gorman. This movie was fucking balls to the wall. So much fun. I loved it. If you have never seen this movie, go out and get it. Watch it and have a good time with it. It's goofy. You know, the Astron 6 guys. They did the Editor, Father's Day, The Void. There's a couple other ones that they did. Balls to the wall, craziness, so much fun. Oh my god. Gory. Yeah. Definitely, if you liked, I hate to say, if you like Power Rangers, there's some scenes in there kind of mimicking Power Rangers and making fun of them. There's other things that make fun of all other those type of shows, the Takusatsu type movies. So yeah, Psycho Gorman, that's like a 10 out of 10. Definitely go buy it. All right, next is another 4 for 44. We got The Queen of Outer Space, another oldie with Zsa Zsa Gabor. So yeah, why not? For $11. Next up, I actually didn't buy the DVD, and there was like a UK release. I held off, but I heard a lot of good things about it. So Scream Factory finally put it on Blu-ray, which is Raw. It's a cannibal type film. Girl who's a vegan goes to a veterinary school and they feed her raw meat, and I guess she goes crazy. I've been hearing good things about this. I'm glad I held off, and Scream Factory put out on Blu-ray. Thank you, Scream. Next up, we have a couple documentaries. We have Real Monsters, Bigfoot, Goatman, Aliens, Humanoids, and UFOs. It's a double disc based on different tales, I guess, from cryptozoology and aliens and UFOs. So, yeah. Then we have Volume 2 of Real Monsters. This one is werewolves, demons, vampires, and sea creatures. So yeah, why not? Figured why not pick those bad boys up. Some documentaries to add to the collection. And my friend Sam, for my birthday, hooked me up with this one. It's actually an upgrade, which is Queen of the Blood Beast. This is the Lagio da Santa version, or name, but it's Revenge of the Blood Beast. And I think, yeah, same thing on here. Again, getting it in slipcover is a pain in the ass, but Raro Video released this one. I don't have many Raros. I think I have this is my second Raro Blu-ray. Alright, upgrade from Vinegar Syndrome with Rush Week. I think it's on a Snapper Case DVD. So I'm glad to upgrade this and got the cool Vinegar Syndrome treatment. Fun little slasher. Next up, from the horror pack I found on eBay, called Rewind, or RWD. Looked pretty cool. Doesn't give you much at all. It doesn't even give you a synopsis on the back. But it looks like people are stuck in a time loop, maybe. Looked pretty cool from the trailer. Next up, we have from same Epic Pictures, called Epic Pictures, or whatever they are, with Sacrifice. I heard this is kind of like a H.P. Lovecraft type film, so I can't wait to get that one a spin. If anybody's seen Sacrifice, I'd like to hear your thoughts. In Walmart, I figured this sounded cool. My wife and I will probably sit down on the couch and watch someday with Sacrilege. It has to do with pagan gods and people getting sacrificed to them. Alright, maybe if it's good, alright, it's a keeper. If it's not, it goes in the store credit bin. You never know with those films, especially with Walmart movies. Next up, we have Scare Me from Shudder. Another one I have not seen yet. Gotta give that one a watch. Alright, we have Slasherette Party, put out by Paul Ragsdale did this one. And he's did a couple of his other slashers. I think Cinco de Mayo's one. So this is like a wedding-themed slasher. The bride-to-be and groom-to-be decide to have their bachelorette and bachelor party together. And there's some killers involved. And, of course, people are getting picked off. Really cool flick. I did a a review on this, so check out the review of Slasher Art Party. Really cool flick. And I grabbed a Slumber Party Massacre, another one from that Scream Factory sale. Still kicking myself. I should have bought those a long time ago because part 2 and 3 is out of print. But I have them on the Roger Corman DVD. From Synapse, have not owned it. I don't know why. But I finally grabbed Tenebrae. Yep. Argento. So another one I had not owned for some reason. Yep. Bad me. From Walmart, we have The Toll. No, this just looks so weird. Yeah, if anybody's seen The Toll, it's all shiny and everything. I think that's what got my attention was the shininess of the slipcover. So, The Toll. Alright, up next is an upgrade. So the third movie in that collection I was talking about. This one was The Trial of the Screaming Forehead. Or The Trail of the Screaming Forehead. I had this on DVD. Pretty much alien foreheads come to Earth and start possessing people to take over the world. You know, it's those knockbacks to the 50s movies. So we got their Blu-ray. Next up, from SRS Cinema, we have War of the God Monsters. This looks like a badass kaiju flick. So I can't wait to get this one to watch. Looks weird. Gotta love the weird kaiju movies. Next up, we have Wax Mask from Severin. Another one from Argento, which I did not own. And I heard it's part of it's Argento that did, and the other part someone else took over. So why not? And last is actually another one of the 4 for $44 with World Without End. So yeah, it's like cavemen and weird like shit like that. Figured, why not? Alright guys, that is the end of my haul video. This was part 2. I hope you enjoyed this, and let me know in the comments down below for part 1 and in part 2 some of your favorite movies, movies that I have seen that you have not, or the ones that I have not seen and you have, and tell me about them. Again, if you haven't, please like and subscribe, and like the videos. Alright guys, have yourself a good night. I'm going to go hit the hay. Have a good night, guys. Have a good one, and stay tuned for more updates, reviews, and other goodies to show off. Later, guys. Peace.